Oh, free play, free play, free play. You mean a lot to me, even though you may not know me very well. Every time we come from Sydney, you end up leaving us feeling inspired to the point of having some weird personal breakthroughs every time. So today I really wanted to impress you. I wanted to have the most amazing slides for my talk, but well, I realized the best slides are not the ones that are here. The perfect slides are already in you, the people that I admire. So, if you're already on the Wi-Fi, please scan here and help me finish my slides. So I actually made a coloring book that we can experience together. Because if you're like me, and I'd like to believe that we are similar, you like to doodle during the talks anyway. Amazing, we have 54 people already. If you miss the QR code, you can just go @Cuauh/FP and a couple of small notes about this. It's easier if you hold it in landscape mode. There's a full screen button that makes it a little bit easier, and every time I change the page, you'll hear me say, I'm about to change the page. It's gonna clear your drawings for that, but I'll try to save them. But free play, this wouldn't be a proper catch-up if you're just drawing by yourself, right? What kind of meeting is that? So what we are going to do is I'm going to aggregate all of your drawings on the screen and maybe celebrate this shared love that we have for creativity. Wow. I can change the opacity to, oh wow, yes, that's. See, I'd like to be honest from the beginning, because if I don't feel like I'm a little bit exposed here, then I'm just wasting your time. I'm changing the slide in 3, 2, 1. Two years ago, free play, I said, fuck, I'm leaving games. I was burnt out from making a commercial game, Burial, and I was feeling pretty alone in the community. See, I came to Australia 15 years ago, and I'm from a very expressive, affectionate family, so going to traditional game events, well, I didn't feel like it was a space to feel like I could open up emotionally. I had truly broken down, and in this void, I started my new journey of rediscovering really what is my relationship with this space. I started, thanks Robert Yang, invading the academic space, started invading the medical device games, and start exploring what is really in the periphery, in the games adjacency that I can find some interesting new meaning. I started asking myself the why and the how of making games, what it all meant to me. But today I'm here to address maybe the most important question, which is, who do I make games for? I'm gonna change the slide. See, as a games industry, we make things that are supposed to work for almost everyone, everywhere. We create artifacts that are supposed to be perfectly replicable and distributed, divorced from all context. But what if we instead embrace the idea of situated play? What if we make games that are intentionally not for everyone? The title of this talk came from the feminist Donna Haraway, who coined the term situated knowledges, criticizing the traditional scientific view that all knowledge is supposed to be all applicable, all encompassing. She said, this is some toxic masculinity, god complex shit, paraphrased. No. Every piece of knowledge, every piece of information has an embodied point of view, a context, a space, a specific community where it makes sense. See, every one of us, we are not an aggregation. We are individual. Like Hannah Nicklin said here in 2022, the player is a material made of people. Each of us. Yeah. We have a perspective. We have our own unique voice, and we have a story worth celebrating, because often aggregation is actually destruction. This isn't about being exclusive, it's about being specific. It's about creating an experience that has so much context, so much shared understanding, that it becomes intensely meaningful for those people that it is for. And in an otherwise flooded market, maybe meaning is the most important thing to strive for. So even if you're thinking of having some commercial pathway anyway, I believe now that having this kind of powerfully specific audience can only bring more depth to your work. I'm gonna change the slide. Hey, Jack. Let me show you some of the things that I helped make in this space, but you can still draw on the margins in the meantime. This is Bird RPG, a game where you can build a nest, lay eggs, brood and sing for each other, forage for decorations, and so much more. Bird RPG lives entirely and only inside the Magpie Discord server. That's the Melbourne Academic Games Play and Interactive Entertainment Initiative. Appropriately, there's even a research mechanic that makes you guess who wrote some scientific academic paper in the cultural space from the people who are actually playing. And this is entirely working within a Discord server. This game would not work outside of its context because it's a living ritual that celebrates the community that it was made for. In it, we have some really fun archetypes that have arisen, like Malian, who hyped this project from the beginning to make it possible. Cass, who has been min-maxing the rarity bonuses to the point of breaking the game on Monday. Thank you. Jackie, who has led the singing leaderboards and spawned a whole art series of birds in cones. And Maze, who has been replicating their backyard garden of Victorian plants in the game. These are not anonymous players. These are our friends and community. And by reducing the audience, we have expanded the meaning. This whole thing started as a joke channel, where we were just pretending to be birds. And it just grew from there. It just grew from there because like every grassroots movement, everything starts from the ground up. This is Gallery Glitch. For my birthday this year, I organized an unsanctioned scavenger hunt / escape room for my friends that took place at the Art Gallery of New South Wales. The game looked at the architecture, the artworks at the time, and even the fact that I was there celebrating that day. Again, like Robert said, it's a feeling of you had to be there. It's a shift in perspective from I'll make a game that people may play to I will make an experience that has a very specific context in mind. And if you're making something like this, my number one tip is put the game where people already are. Because I know that if I had made some of these things as each I.O. games and just ask people, hey, I made something thinking about you, go and play it, it wouldn't have worked. Putting the things where people are literally walking from to, it's like, here, let's do this. The when and the where is just as important as the what. I've also done mods for board games as training for my day job and little games for my partner, Hini, and of course, this interactive talk. But my work pales in comparison to a grand field of games that already embrace this idea of situated play. Last year, George Mack gave a talk about making a game for his grandma. The Free Play Zone by Cecile, Richard, and Jay was a digital haven imagined specifically for us during COVID times. Bar SK hosted the lead jam where everything had to be erased by the end of the day, and the games made embrace that limitation. And the Game a Week jam had the theme of gift games led by Douglas Wilson and the team. And of course, our own keynote speaker, Robert, talked about this in 2013, about games as fashion, games as murals, games as gifts. My partner, Hini, she's working on her game, Weathering Blue, which is being designed in consultation with the nursing community to tell a story of burnout and systemic failure. But free play, what if? What if these margins aren't actually margins? What if these spaces were actually new structures upon we can build new realities to understand, make, and interact with games? What if we are aware of where we are situated and knowing that our edges connect with others? Would we do anything differently? See, so much of our work and personal life is already dictated by tech giants and platforms. And while we can't fully avoid them, this is about finding the healthy way to nurture our communities regardless of them. For Bird RPG, who kickstarted a lot of this thinking, I want to thank the Magpie community, who has a table outside that you should absolutely check out. And speaking of organizations, also join Savvy, because they're an amazing example transitioning to a co-op structure, leading the way on community-owned infrastructure. It's amazing. You did find each other. This guy. Let's go bigger. Fantastic, there is a penis. So, let me save this one. Gonna change the slide. So, free play. Join me in Team Love as we reimagine who and why we make games. And we make the things we do because if we love making games, why not make them for the people that we love? And so I must confess, by playing this presentation, you're not just an audience anymore, you're now all my friends. Thank you. And I did save all of your stuff. Yay! You can go to this later. Thank you.